Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TW RC, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at this, which is a TW R8 receiver from FrSky. Those who follow the channel will know that I recently invested in a FrSky X20 Pro S, and that has dual functionality, so redundant functionality. That's on the tandem series of receivers, which use two different types of frequencies, so 2.4 gigs and 900 megs to give you that full redundancy. But another thing that they support is this TW range, which is a fairly new range from FrSky or FrSky, and this is also a dual redundant receiver. But what it does is it uses two different bands of the 2.4 gigs channel, and it has two basically dual, like, independent receivers in there, and it's an active system, so it's not a case of if one fails the other one's there in standby mode to take over. Both bands are running at the same time. You've still obviously got a single point failure in that it's just one receiver, but it does give you that extra sort of safety net that you've actually got two different bands of 2.4 being transmitted to the aircraft or the model. I've never set one of these up before. I think it's fairly straightforward on the X20S, but we'll have a look at that. And just to show you what I'm going to be actually doing with this, so I'm going to be putting this into my Hangar 9 Ultra Stick. At the moment it's got a Radiomaster R16-8 receiver. Now these are the original Radiomaster receivers that they bought out, and I think they got in a spot of bother for it because it's using the D16 FrSky protocol, and FrSky didn't like it basically, so they stopped them selling it. So these are great receivers, and you know, I don't really want to take it out when it's all installed in there, but they won't work with the X20 Pro or any X20 because they use the old version 1 protocol, whereas now it's the V2 version, I believe, and there's no way to update the firmware on these as far as I'm aware anyway. But in any case, I couldn't get it bound to the X20, so that's why I've bought the TW. So we're gonna have to rip this one out. I've got to set this model up anyway on my X20 because at the moment it's set up on my Radiomaster TX16S, which I'm selling. So I've got to transfer it over anyway, so I thought I might as well get the new receiver. So let's have a look at the receiver. Let's get a model set up on the X20, and then we'll see how that's gone into the model. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to create a new model on here. So we'll go to create a model. It's an aeroplane, or airplane as they like to say. We've got one channel for the engine, then it's going to ask me ailerons, are they on a Y lead or two channels, so this is on two channels, and we do have also flaps on one channel, so I'm going to select the flaps. Traditional tail, traditional rudder, we can give it a name, so it's going to be Ultra Stick. Picture I'll have to add later. I do like to add the pictures, so I'll do that later. And then we're good to go. So now what we need to do is go into the settings, and then we go to sorry, not the settings, we go into the model. This is the first time I've set like a model up on here, so we go into RF system. It's going to be using the internal module. We're going to turn that on, and then we've got type, and this is where we've got this TW mode here. So we're going to select the TW mode, and I think that's probably for now all we need to do. So it's enabled, you can see here by default, so we've got the two bands by the looks of things. So 2.4 gig FSK is on and 2.4 gig LoRa is on. You can't change those. I'll be honest, I don't know what they FSK and LoRa actually means. I'm sure someone in the comments might help us out there. But as you can see, that's switched on now because I've got it in that TW mode, and they're the two different bands it's using on the receiver. So now we need to get the receiver bound. So let's just get it open. So we've got a few little bits in the pack as well, so guessing that's an instruction card there with some of the information on. This is just the R8, but you can see they do a GR8 as well for a glider, which has got the barometric, or whatever the correct term is, for altitude and all that sort of thing in. And it looks like you get a spare pair of, it's never going to pick up on those, I don't think, a spare pair of antennas. And there's also this little lead if you're going to be using F-port or something like that, which plugs into there. You could also make that the battery channel as well if you wanted to free up all the ports, PWM ports on the side here and there. But I'm just going to use one of these to plug the battery in. So let's have a look at getting this bound. I'm doing the usual thing of not reading the instructions, but let's see what happens. I've got a feeling it might just go into register mode. So it's flashing red. If we go to register. So there is actually a button there. It's hard to see, and it's also quite hard to feel as well. It's you wouldn't necessarily notice it was there, but I just sort of thought, oh, there is a mark there, as you can see. Let me try pressing that whilst I plug the battery in, and it's, instead of being a red light, it's gone to red and green. So I'm assuming that's in the bind mode. So let's see. In fact, let me just try and get the receiver on the camera as well so you can see it there. So we'll go to register first. Register. There we go. That's working now. So it's, see, it's discovered it there, TW8. So let's register that, and you can see it's flashing now. Look. Okay, so just power it off and back on again, and now it's found it, TW R8. So we'll say yes, please. Bind OK, and now we've got a blue light. So receiver's all bound up. I'm assuming we don't need to do anything else here. You can obviously have more than one receiver, but this is just, even though it's got the dual band, it's just classed as one receiver. You can set the power as well to this. I'm just going to leave it on the default here. That should be plenty. Yeah, so that is all good. So let's go back home. Yeah, we can see we've got a reading now, 2.4. Let's unplug it. Telemetry lost. And we've got telemetry lost. Cool. So we know that's all set up. So that was fairly straightforward to do. So now what I need to do is get this put into the Ultra Stick. I need to copy the settings over from the Radio Master. Well, when I say copy, I mean just literally look at what the settings are and then put them into this, because there's no way of transferring the models, I don't think. Yeah, so I'll get all that done and I will show you the end result. Okay, so we've got all that set up now. Got the receiver in there. The actual hardest bit about this was getting the old receiver off. I used these sort of 3M sticky pads, and it was really hard to get the old receiver out. I ended up getting a bit of heat on it with a heat gun to get it off. But anyway, the new one's in there now, nice and solid. Got the aerials running down, which is probably not optimal, but should be fine. Give good coverage there. And I've gone through and configured all the new settings now on the X20. So I have to set the flaps up and dual rates and all that sort of stuff. So that's all gone fine. Seems to be working okay. So next thing I need to do is take it down the field, do a range check on it because it's a new receiver, and then we'll hopefully take it for a fly. So just a quick one there. Hope that's been useful. And if you enjoy my videos and you're into fixed wing RC, then please subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. Thanks for all those people who've subscribed already. And if you've got any comments, stick them in the comments box. And also, if you've liked the video, give me a thumbs up. That will help me out as well. And I'll see you soon for the next one.